y'all, it is Tasha. Welcome back to my channel. You can see I ain't even mic'd up. I'm in my bathroom because I didn't even feel like setting up the tripod. Hopefully this video still gives you, decent quality, because I wasn't even sure if I was going to record this video. And then after watching the episode, I was like, I got to talk to y'all at least just for a little minute about what happened. I didn't take notes because I was out of town. I just got back in town yesterday and watched Put a Ring on It. And I was like, we're not going to review it, girl. And then I watched the episode and was like, but you got to talk to somebody about this because this ish was ghetto. So we just gonna run through it. This is gonna be more of like a little chit chat that we can just talk about this episode, because it was just, it was some stuff going on, and I don't know how to feel about it. So this is Put a Ring on It season 3. I believe this was episode 4 that we are on at this point. So the episode opens, from what I can remember, with, of course, they are still at the group session with Dr. Nicole. They do kind of go back with Shay and Alfonso, and I'm just like, can we just stop with these two? Because obviously at this point, Alfonso is trying to tell us that he has kind of this nervous laughter going on because they talk about these serious situations, but yet the both of them kind of laugh the things off as if any of this is some sort of laughing matter. It's like, but the ish isn't funny. And Shay, deep down inside, you're actually hurt about it, but you're trying to laugh it off like it's not a big deal, actually. Because she talks about an incident where, he, of course, knows all these women. And then at one point, one woman actually asked him for money while they were out together. And he gives the person the money. And I'm like, and you expect your significant other to be okay with that? Like, Alfonso, make it make sense, because you say you don't like to see her cry, you don't like to see her sad, but yet you do these things that make absolutely no sense. Like, how you expect her to feel? I don't know at this point, but whatever. We're going to move on to Otis and Sharlana. So they both talk about their dates that they had last week. They both want to go on second dates with the people they went on before. And honestly, with these two, it just feels like a tit for tat situation and being passive aggressive with one another. I hope he has a great time. I hope she has a great time. And it's just like Dr. Nicole is like, we don't have to work on this communication, because obviously y'all just trying to one up the next person and make the next person jealous and upset, when that's the goal of this is to really figure out if this is the person you want to be with, not let me just continue to make you jealous and be petty and spiteful, and then we gonna still be in this horrible relationship at the end of this. Like, that's not what it is. So all the couples leave. Shorty and Kenneth are happy. Kind of the heat was off of them this episode. Otis and Sharlana. Otis is mad because he thinks Dr. Nicole really doesn't see his side of things. And I'm like, it's hard to be on your side, Otis. Let's just be completely transparent and honest. But anyway, this week on the episode, the couples go out with their dates at the same place at the same time. And Dr. Nicole said this in a group setting. So when we start getting to the dates and the significant others start to act shocked that the person is there, I'm so confused, because I'm like, Dr. Nicole said this, so it's not like it's a full day date and y'all are going to different places and you just have no idea when the person is going to show up. You going to one place, so obviously your partner's going to show up with their date at this same place. So let's not be shocked about it. Let's not be surprised about it. Let's just see them, continue with the date, and let's just move on, because y'all, this is a hot mess. Anyway, so pretty much for Otis and Sharlana, they end up going to a yoga date with their dates. So Sharlana gets there first, I believe, with her date from last week, the guy she had the cooking class with. And then Otis shows up, and they basically just start, again, the tit for tat situation. Otis is like, she gonna be upset. She ain't gonna be able to handle seeing me on this date. I'm like, why do you think you're such a catch? Like, Otis is okay looking, but to me, he ain't that fine to be doing all this nonsense and to be letting all the things that he says and does get a pass. You ain't that good looking. I'm sorry. It just ain't doing it for me. it ain't doing it like that, okay? But he obviously thinks Sharlana's not going to be able to, control herself, and she's going to have a big problem with him being on a date with his date or whatever. Only thing I didn't like about Sharlana is she showed too many of her cards, because when the date came to the house to pick up Otis, she's just like, oh, you're so beautiful, but you look so young. It's not a bad thing though, but he kept talking about how young you look, and I'm just like, are you trying to give the girl a compliment, but then you trying to throw shots at the same time? And it's like, she looks a little bit young, but I think it's more of the hairstyle that does it than she actually is young. But you letting too much of your hands show, Sharlana. You're supposed to act like you don't even care. Let her take this man off your hands and let her deal with the baggage that comes afterwards, okay? Because she seems to be digging him, because she don't really know how crazy and possessive he is at this point, and controlling, we should all add. Anyway, so then they're at the yoga, and Sharlana starts letting her date, help getting her stretched and all this stuff. And I'm just like, can y'all please grow up at this point? So they do the yoga class. Yoga is over. And when they're about to leave, Otis tries to give Sharlana a kiss. And she's like, we not doing that. You want a date. And I'm just like, Otis, you really tried to. This is like the dog peeing on the tree. Let me show you that this is mine. You don't need to be anywhere in my area or with my person. Because how you on a whole date and you trying to kiss your partner, not spouse. You trying to kiss your partner while she's on a date, just so that you can show some sort of possession and control and mess with her mind, so that any other time she has left with this man, she's going to be thinking about you and how you acted. I can't with these two. Okay. Anyway, after them, we gonna get into the real drama of the episode, which was Alfonso and Shay Chow. So neither one of them wanted to go out on dates with people they had previously went out with, so they're both going out with new people. Shay gets a guy that I believe was in his 40s, from New York. He had these braids in his head that I wish he would just let go, because it looked a little childish in my opinion, but that may be me being petty. But I was like, this ain't it. Alfonso is with a lady that is also in her 40s. She look a little hood adjacent, I'm just gonna say, to just put it nice. But she was from Detroit, I believe, so we already know that she probably can get it popping with the best of them, okay? So Shay is there first at this little hibachi restaurant. They're kind of in a space where it's just the four of them eventually that's going to be on the date. So she's getting to know the guy. The guy is like, let's get some shots so I can loosen you up. And she's like, loosen me up. And he was like, just get you more comfortable. Like, calm down, Shay. Calm down. Act like you've had some guy pay attention to you and give you all of their attention, because I know you ain't used to that with Alfonso. So she's having a good time chatting it up with her date. And then, of course, as Fonzo and his date enters the room, this is where she starts to completely unhinge and lose all common sense that she has in her mind. He comes in, and it's like she can no longer focus on her date. She can only focus on this man being in the room with his date being in there. So she's like, he acting like I'm a ghost. He can't even speak to me when he come in. So she's like, hi, Fonzo. And I'm just like, because Dr. Nicole told you the point of this is to still be able to focus on the date that it's in front of you and not your partner that is there with you. So she's minding the business of Alfonso and his date. They're talking. Fonzo and his date are talking, trying to get to know each other. And then Shay is like, what was that? What was that? I thought you was talking to me. And then they show her in confessional. She's like, all I heard was something, Fonzo. And I was just like, so you didn't hear something, Shay. So you knew this girl wasn't talking to her. Of course she's going to say the name Alfonso. She's on a date with Alfonso, girl. Like, quit being extra. Like, this is just team too much. And your insecurities are showing big time, Shay. Like, girl, reel it in and get this under control. So she starts it popping with Alfonso's date, and Alfonso's date is trying to kind of keep it a little cute, keep it a little mute. And she's like, I'm not talking to you. Trust me, if I was talking to you, I'd have been looking at you and you would have known. Shay starts getting hyped and standing up. Fonzo, you better get your girl. Fonzo, you better get your girl. And I'm just like, all this elevation was not even necessary, girl. Like, you put 20 on 10 you put 20 on 5 because homegirl didn't come in there starting no mess with you, and you just got upset at the mere sight of her being with Alfonso. So she just starts going in, standing up. You better get her. You better watch your mouth. All this time, Fonzo is sitting there with a grin on his face. Again, since he's already told us, it's the nervous grin of, why is she acting like this? I don't know what the hell to do. I'm just going to let it play out how I see fit. Or if I just sit here and don't entertain it, maybe everything will just die down eventually. So she's getting up and getting elevated. At this point, Shay Date has to hold her back. And I know this man is like, what the hell did I get myself into? Like, is this really what I signed up for, to be security guard between this girl and the date that her man is on at this point? So in my opinion, when her date gets up to try to diffuse the situation and hold her back, this was Alfonso's opportunity to then step in. Like, this is your girlfriend. You know how she behaves. Hopefully you know how to calm her down, or at least remove her from the space. That this man that she's on a date with should not have to do this. Like, this is absolutely insane. So the guy's trying to, hold her back. She still is getting elevated. And at this point, she's walking toward Alfonso's date. The episode goes off as Alfonso's date is picking up a plate, like she is about to throw the plate, smash it against Shay's head. I don't know what's about to happen with the plate, but I'm just like, now we using weapons, we using plates as weapons here. Like, this is real ghetto. This episode was just a hot mess. I already knew, of course, from the previews last week and just from the behavior we've seen from Shay, that this was not going to be good for her, and she was not going to be able to control herself with being in a room with him on a date, because she can't even control the date coming to the house to pick him up. But this was just embarrassing. Like, I almost got secondhand embarrassment for her just by watching her behavior on the show, because it's just like, you showing that you crazy, and you showing a little bit of why he may not introduce you as his girl, why he may not introduce you and incorporate into his family like that. Because if you're going to show out like this off of nothing, doesn't excuse Fonzo because he's trash, but it's just like, girl, I'm going to need you to have a little bit of decorum about yourself and act like you have a little bit of self-control. Because again, Fonzo ain't popping like that. I mean, if you like him, great, but he ain't worth embarrassing myself on national TV like this, y'all. So this episode was a complete mess. Again, this was not really a true review. This probably was more of a rant because I was just so annoyed, and we already know none of these couples need to stay together. We did not see Shorty and Kenneth's date this episode, but Shorty decided she was not going to go on another date with Hollywood because she said she was feeling him, and she's basically afraid that if she continues to go on more dates with him, it's going to turn into something at that point. And she was trying to, talk to Kenneth after the group session, asking him, about really how things are going, because Kenneth seems to be taking the route of, I'm just going on dates just to go on dates, but the end result is I'm going to be with you and we will be together. And Shorty was like, but that's not the goal of the program and the dates, and we could potentially not be together because if I don't get what I want, I'm walking. So these two, we'll see how their combo date goes next week, but for their situation, it's probably going to be more of Kenneth not being able to focus with Shorty in the room, because let's be honest, y'all. Kenneth told us all these different jobs he had going on last week. He needs Shorty to support him. So he's going to make sure he's on his best behavior, and he's going to be keeping an eye to make sure that don't be trying to take my meal ticket from me, okay? Because I need her, so I got somewhere to live and food to eat, okay? Let me know what y'all thought about this ghetto-ass episode this week, and I will catch y'all next week with a real review of Put a Ring on It. Catch y'all next time. Peace.